No research today. Let's talk about trauma. The evolution of the term trauma and how it's used and stuff like that. Because I'm gonna set this to upload in like a few days. I'm recording this the same day as I just recorded the last video. It should be up by now. The reason that this is on my mind is because I asked ChatGPT, can I tell the truth about George Floyd? And it said, which is not that he had a drug overdose. That's the stupidest fucking. Okay, not the curse. Sorry, God. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He had a drug overdose while some dude had a knee on his neck, bro. What are you talking about? Unbelievable. It's like that's one of the stupidest theory I've ever heard. Like, bro, I swear controlled opposition is the realest thing ever. I swear, because they get people out here who say a little truth and they say a lot of fake, and then the people that hear the little truth and agree with it, then they follow the lot of fake. When is Alex Jones going to talk about who the group of people is that runs the world? What is it? The Satanists? Be more specific. And you won't. Anyways, now let's talk about trauma. The evolution of the term. Trauma, initially, most people know this, World War I. That's when it became a thing. World War I happens, it's like, oh no, they come back, and yeah, that's a real trauma, bro. Like, the way that people talk about what happened with the soldiers, right? That people would be lying with their bed at night, or with their wife in bed at night, and roll up and think that they're in battle, bro, and they start beating their wife. Right? Stuff like that. Like, that's real, bro. Like, that's like the realest PTSD that will ever exist. Because, yeah, you went through literally the worst thing ever, bro. Like, you not only did you watch your friends die, it was in the most brutal way possible, because wars never got worse than World War I. That was like peak brutality, right? Because it's like the guns are not that well developed. Everything's jamming and stuff. They don't know what's coming for them. Gassed. The machine guns. Imagine you have a bolt action rifle, bro, and the entire enemy line is just machine guns, bro. You're just getting annihilated, right? The worst thing ever. Absolutely horrible. So that's where trauma came from, right? And then after World War II, they elaborated on it and they called it wait, chill. It was that's actually what they call it in World War I as well. Psychoneurosis, which is one of the best explanations, really. Post-war psychoneurosis, because that's what it is, right? Trauma is an extreme neurosis. What is neuroticism? That's the anxious personality trait, right? 5 personality traits in psych. Neuroticism is the anxious one. So peak neuroticism is OCD, right? I have to spin around in 3 circles, 2 left, 1 right, and then I can open my door or my house will explode. So it's like that, like, kind of like, we have to do this right now. Not very well explained, right? Like, not very based in reality, right? But they still feel like they have to do it, right? So neuroticism comes with 2 components. The mental component of, like, kind of freaking out and the anxiety and stuff like that, and the compulsion, which comes with it, right? And that's why so many of them are drug addicts. A lot of neurotic people do turn to addiction, because it's like all that'll drown it out, all that'll chill them, right? If I do this and this, and oh no, the paper isn't flipped exactly at 90 degrees, right? If you have all that, take some alcohol, take some weed, take some heroin, and it's like, okay, we're chill now. I don't care about any of this stuff because I'm so stupid right now, right? Anyways, so trauma breeds neuroticism. Now this is where things got mixed up, is because originally trauma was like soldiers, which, yeah, very neurotic, right? You hear the pop of like someone throwing a can or something in an alleyway, and you think, yo, we're back in Afghanistan, get down, and you pull the Glock out, like you're freaking out, right? It's like the distorted reality stuff. Very real. Now today, People literally, everyone thinks they're traumatized, bro, especially women. And guys, this is why I could never be a professional psychologist, but why I can go talk to people about stuff. Because I'll tell the truth, which is that you're not traumatized. That's just looking up a billion articles about divorce trauma. Your parents split up, and you're saying you're traumatized. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, is that we've separated trauma from problems, from issues. Because your dog dying isn't trauma. It's an issue. It's like, man, that's sad. And yeah, it might cause like a little bit of neuroticism. Like you see someone else's dog doing a habit that your dog used to do, and you're like, you feel like a level of compulsion, like, oh, I need to get out of here, or I need to distract myself, or something like that. But that's natural. You're not traumatized, you know? And here's the thing. Listen. You watch your family member die in something brutal. You watch your friend die, you have to kill someone, you get sexually abused, you get abused as a child. All of these things will breed great levels of trauma into your head, right? But that's very different from just a general issue. And I've always refused to call myself traumatized, even when I was like the most depressed and stuff like that, the most anxious, because like I'm not, bro. Like, yeah, there's been things in my life that I'm like, man, this sucks, bro. I really wish I never had to go through that. And there are things that remind me of it, of course, but it doesn't mean I'm traumatized. And the reason I'd never say it is because I understand how disrespectful that is, bro. I really do. Because, like, the truth is that the people that are most traumatized will never admit it. They'll never admit it, bro. And they'll just cope all the time. And it'll be horrible. Right? But, like, you and your ex-boyfriend breaking up, that's not trauma. Right? Like, you got raped? Yeah, it's trauma. Like, yeah, that's gonna destroy your brain from the inside. But we've really shifted. My dad yelled at me. Bro, what? And what it really is like a disconnection from reality, you know? Because, like, for example, even with stuff like death. 100 years ago, I've said this many times on this channel. 100 years ago, a mom has 6 kids, 3 die. That's life. You're familiar with death. There's no medicine. There's no, like, I mean, yeah, there's medicine, but not like there is today. There's no, like, oh, we're going to put him on the, what's the thing called, where it keeps you barely, like, alive. Bro, why can't I think of it? I don't know, but we've kind of disconnected death from us, which is what I talked about in the technology video as well. That, like, with all this medical technology, they made it hard to die, bro. They made it hard to... You can't even kill yourself if you want to, bro. They'll be like, yo, we're taking you away. Stuff like that. Like, we've very much disconnected ourselves from the natural world. And the truth is that death is very normal. Very normal thing. Very natural. It's horrible. Don't get me, it's terrible. But it's a very natural thing. And the problem with this, with everyone thinking that they're traumatized, is the same problem with everyone thinking that they're depressed. When you feed yourself these thoughts, you destroy your mental. Straight up. Like, if I have an off day, and I think, damn, I'm depressed today, and the next day, I'm like, man, I'm depressed as a person, I'm gonna, right, because, confirmation bias. Every time that I don't feel good, I'm depressed, bro, I'm depressed. Feed yourself, I'm depressed. Thought loop becomes unconscious. Everything is through the lens of, I'm depressed. And you destroy yourself. Same thing with trauma, right? Like, yeah, trauma's a very real thing, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's very real. And, trauma breeds addiction. That's really the truth, because you just want to run. That's what it is. And how else are you going to run? Oftentimes people run to alcohol and drugs and sex and money and distraction, so it just happens. But drugs are running, bro. I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna go run. Let's go get drunk. Let's go run from our problems in our everyday life, in my social anxiety. And guys, I really don't mean to seem harsh. Like, I completely understand how difficult things are. But a lot of things aren't trauma that get labeled as trauma. Oh yeah, did I explain this? I asked ChatGPT, can I say the truth about George Floyd? And ChatGPT said, people may be offended because the black community was traumatized by George Floyd's death. You are not traumatized by seeing a man die on TV. I'm sorry, bro. Do you know how many people I see die on Instagram Reels, bro, on YouTube? So many. So many, bro. Yeah, some of them look like me. Some of them die for unwarranted reasons, in brutal ways, yeah. But, like, they'll be like, we're traumatized. I'm traumatized because I saw... No, bro, like, I've seen so many live leak videos when I was young, bro. So many. And it's like, is this a disturbing thing to watch? It's kind of like, oh, yeah. Am I traumatized? Like, listen, am I traumatized because I saw the movie Final Destination, and I saw the scene where the guy's driving behind the log truck and the log comes out and kills him? And then I drive behind the log truck and I think, what if this log came behind and killed me? No, I'm not traumatized. I'm referencing something in my mental, bro. That's all you're doing. And yeah, the thing's negative. It doesn't mean trauma. And like, I remember when I talked to my therapist and stuff, and he'd be like, yeah, well, yeah, maybe it's not like one big traumatic event, but it's like a bunch of micro traumas. I'd be like, I refuse to believe that, bro. That's called being a person. Like, where is the man who never suffers? Where is he? Where'd he go, bro? Because he's not real. He doesn't exist. That's just the truth. That's just the truth, bro. I saw a video of a guy talking about his father Moses. Video about when boys become men. What did he say? He said, a boy has a bad day, right? Or a boy is anxious because he has a project coming up and he doesn't know if his classmates will help him. They'll do it correctly. And he thinks, I'm anxious, I'm an anxious guy. A man is anxious when he has a project coming up at work and he needs to rely on the other people. And he thinks, I'm anxious because there's a bunch of money on the line in my job. That's just like, I was like, yo, that's the realest thing I've ever heard, bro. And here's the problem with everyone thinking that they're depressed and anxious. I'm stealing this from Sneeko in his Depression Isn't Real video from way back when, like 2016. He said, I refuse to believe such a large part of the population is depressed. And guys, listen, like, I don't like new Sneeko, he sucks. Don't get me wrong. But old Sneeko's peak, bro, he was so good. And, guys, please don't put me into the red pill type, the manosphere. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. I'm just trying to bear the truth. And I'm not a woman hater, so you can't put me there. Even though you watch the feminism video and you think, like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? No. Yeah, but, like, as I was looking into this drama stuff just now, it was a very short search. There's this thing. It's talking about food trauma. That people with eating disorders have food trauma. You don't have food trauma, bro. You have a problem with the food. I ate spaghetti and then I made myself throw up and I threw up spaghetti. And I look at spaghetti and I think about how I threw up that one time. Like, yeah, it's a bad memory. It's not trauma. It's very different. How do you gauge the difference? Well, honestly, it's kind of hard for me to say, like, to define it. Really, it's just that a traumatic event will change who you are. Right? Because we all have a level of neuroticism towards a negative event that happened. And when you think, I'm traumatized, think about how disrespectful you are to the guy whose whole family died in front of him, that continues on day by day and will never tell a single person what happened to him, how he feels about it, how much it bothers him. Like, think about it. You're traumatized from your parents' divorce. This dude got kidnapped as a kid and raped. Like, what? You know? It really is perspective. And the lack of perspective today of phone, no human interaction, right? Or your human interaction is limited to people who think just like you because they're also phone. And they're not only phone, but they're also in the same clicks as you on the phone. Right? Way less perspective. Also just because the lack of interaction with the phone all the time. You know, less speaking to people equals less perspective. Especially when it's all people from your culture and stuff like that. Equals the understanding that they all have and no branching out. Just makes you more imperfect. You know? And again, guys, I'm not putting people down because it's interesting, because some people that are actually very traumatized, especially men, will think like, am I making this too big of a deal in my head? Like, no, bro, you went through some horrendous stuff, man. But it's like, the reason that they think that is because of you guys who say, I'm traumatized because my dad yelled at me. Like, no, you're not, bro. If your trauma is something that over 50% of the population went through, then you're not traumatized. I'm sorry. This is just the truth. Like, come on. I mean, I think I could lower that percent by a ton. A ton, bro. But, bad stuff like rape happens to a lot of people, so. It really is the greatest evil in the world. And guys, if I ever disappear, bro. If I ever disappear, out of, like, nowhere, the CIA killed me. Or something bad happened to my family member and the dude is dead, and you'll never hear from me again. I live out of the country. But yeah, stuff is way too common. It's actually horrible. I think that you could also gauge trauma and stuff like that by dissociation, but I think really the best way to understand how bad it is by how hard you try in comparison to other people. And if it's still there, you know? So, like, for example, when I was really depressed, I tried very hard compared to everyone who's still very depressed. And I stayed depressed. But then when I started gauging it to the people who escaped depression, I was like, yo, I need to do more. And then I did more, and then I escaped. I was like, yo! Because my doctor would be like, nah, bro, this is your entire life. Like, it's gonna be like this forever. And I'd be like, bro, you are not helping. Like, what do you, huh? You know, just take the medication. It's just gonna be like this. Never take the medication. Never take the medication. I remember, like, a month after I got off my meds, I was arguing with my girlfriend at the time. I probably said some bad shit, but she's like, get back on your fucking meds, you're crazy. I was like, yo, sorry, God, don't mean to curse. I should really stop cursing. It's actually a really bad habit, and it makes me look stupider, so it's really just not good. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about perspective and stuff like that. Like, mental illness is very real. See, here's the thing, mental illness, very real. How much of it exists when man lives in his natural state, right? You're hunting for your food or farming every day. You live in a small tribe, right? You're outside all the time. How much of it is real? Very little. Like, literally only schizophrenia. But, and, like, bipolar 1. It's probably real. But, besides that, bro, like, mental illness exists because you're forced to live completely outside of your nature. Right? Where's the book? Whatever, I'll find it later. But even living very far outside your nature, not too much of it is real. Like, you just need to balance yourself. Yeah, but I really don't mean to be that guy. Because, like, again, guys, some people are so messed up in the head. But so many more people believe that they're messed up in the head than they actually are. You know? Especially with trauma. Especially. It really just comes to tolerance and stuff like that. That's all, guys. Again, the very few people that will listen to this overall, but then the very few people that will listen to it and think like, what if I'm making this too big of a deal? Like, bro, there's real stuff out there. Like, you don't need to be in your head like, oh, I forced myself into all this. I mean, to an extent, you do force yourself into it, though, when you think, like, this happened to me, how will I ever be happy again? You just think about it every day, all day, and stare at the wall in your room and don't do anything to improve. Yeah, you're forcing it onto yourself. You're grinding, moving past stuff, and you still lay in bed at night and get haunted. Then, yeah, that's different. Wait. It was a very satanic thing, but, X said, this is the best understanding of trauma. Wait. In the song Might Off Myself for 2017, at 1 minute there's a sample. Every night you go to sleep, you see and you remember all the things you've seen and you felt. Every single night, it's the same thing on repeat. Like, that's trauma, bro. That's trauma that you sit in your bed and replay every night, despite what happens during the day. You're just haunted, right? Especially when it's like hitting your nightmares and stuff like that. Then it's like horrible. But very few people are like that, to be honest, compared to the amount that claim it. That's all, guys. I'm gonna shave the neck beard. It grows out, and like, what am I gonna look nice for? I actually have a job interview today, so I need to probably go do that. But yeah, bro, like, stay smooth. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, let's talk about, that's the whole video, guys. I've been on Dice Throne for like a week now. Feeling, I want to make I should make one of those the Pearphone iCarly things. It's like, feeling amazing. And it's like, hey guys, I've been on Dice Throne for a week. This is the stupidest thing I've ever said. Anyways, I feel great all the time, and literally, like I said in the other video, all I want to do is lift. Yeah, let me know if you guys watched the Jungian understanding of Christ in church video. Let me know what you guys think about the GoPro videos, because I can do it, but it's like really annoying. It's really annoying, bro. Like, I probably spent a solid 35 minutes working on it after. Not because I edit it. I don't edit anything, right? Like, it's kind of a badly made video, but solely for the reason that I have to like delete a billion things from my phone to download it, and then I have to import it all into iMovie, and then I have to export it from iMovie and then upload it on my phone versus uploading on my computer. Like, I'm gonna finish this video, upload the file, and then title it whatever, set it to upload in 2 days, and that's all. Okay, God bless, stay strong, boys. We must endure to the end. Yo, why did it sound so weird? To the end. That sounded like beyond.